Hey, Mr. Willis, and I just want to show you a couple more tricks of working with layers in Adobe Photoshop 15. One important one is, let's say we have a layer that we just kind of want out of the way for the moment while we work on other stuff, but we don't want to delete it. Like this W, the text layer, I want it for the end thing, but I'd like to just work with the other shapes for a moment. And so what I'm going to do is very simple. On the layer where I have my text layer, I'm just going to click the little eyeball, and that makes it go away. Okay, it's still there. The W still exists. If I click the eyeball, it comes right back. But that's just a way to kind of get it out of the way for now. So what I'm going to do now is I want to create more of a unique shape to go with my logo here. And so I think, the idea I have is I think I might make a star. We'll do a three-sided star, and instead of blue, let's do like maybe a yellow color or something like that to kind of go with that. Whoops, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do that. I meant to do that with the new shape. So I've switched my color to yellow here, and so I'm just going to draw a a star. By the way, you'll notice when I drew this star, I can set it to however many sides I want down here, and I just set that one to 3. And then let's go ahead and set this to like a yellow color. There we go. And now I'm going to switch over to my little arrow tool just to grab and move that over. Maybe I'll rotate it a little bit here so it lines up. I don't know, I guess I'm going for some sort of a logo I might see on a sci-fi uniform or something like that. Not quite the Star Trek star, but something, kind of along those lines. But anyway, there we go. So I've kind of got those lined up into where it is creating kind of a new shape now with those together. Now, something I can do here is, let's say I want to keep those two shapes together as one thing, make them their own little unique shape. Two different ways to do that I want to show you. One is anytime I'm working with these two shapes, over here in my layers panel, I can click on the first layer, and then I hold down my shift key on the keyboard and click on the second layer, and so now it's selecting them both. And that way then whenever I'd use, say, my move tool, you see it's grabbing them both together. Okay, so that's one way to do it, and that's a good way to do it if you think you still might want to break them apart later. Like I could just click on the one here, and now I'm back to just working with one layer. Now let's say I totally want the two of them to go together, to be locked in together, because here, I'll show you, here's a problem. Let's say I want to do kind of an outline or something like that on this one. You might remember how we did that layer style thing, style settings, and I'm just going to put an outline on that. But let's say I want the outline to go just around the whole thing, and I don't want to see the outline like where the two shapes overlap. Well, alright, so here's what I'm going to do there. I'm going to cancel that, and I'm going to actually combine these two layers. So here's how you combine them. I'm going to start on the top layer, and I'm going to right click on it, and then this is kind of a trick here. If you made these layers out of shapes, I have to simplify it. So I'm going to right click, simplify, and then you just saw how it got rid of that little shape icon on the bottom. It means it's not, I don't want to get too technical. It basically means you've simplified it, and we can now do some other stuff with it. I'm going to do the same thing with this one. Right click on the layer, simplify it. Now I can click on this top one, and I can go right click and then merge down. And so you'll see now those are just one layer, the two of those together. And so let's say I do my layer style thing, and I want to do that stroke on the outside. You see how it just goes on the outside, but this is, these two parts here, it's as if they're in the same picture. So a couple little tricks there, a couple of little ideas, whichever one you want to do to combine your layers. But as always, there's a lot to be done with by working with multiple layers and things of that nature.